Hey guys, Major here, and today I am going to be talking about the future of Battlefield. Of course we have Battlefield Hardline releasing at the end of March this year, but what is going to be happening after this game comes out? Where's it going to be set? And what sort of theme is it going to have? Is it going to be another Cops and Robbers spin-off? Or is it going to go back to the militaristic shooter? Well, I'm aiming to answer them questions in this video. So let's start with what we already know about the next Battlefield after Hardline. Well, we know that it is going to be coming out in 2016, depending on if there's going to be any more delays like we had with Battlefield Hardline. Of course, we don't want another repeat of what Battlefield 4 was. In this article from GameSpot, we can see that it has been confirmed for 2016, and it has also been confirmed to be a militaristic shooter. So none of this cops and robbers spin-off stuff, gang, wars, whatever. It's going to go back to the militaristic shooter that Battlefields have been known for. However, there is no set time period that has been confirmed for this new shooter. So we don't know if it could be another future first-person shooter, we've been seeing many of them recently, or a historical first-person shooter, or another modern-day first-person shooter. Personally, I would quite like to see another futuristic first-person shooter, as none of them have actually captured what I envisage a futuristic first-person shooter to me. However, Star Wars Battlefront is coming out at the end of this year, so I'm kind of hoping that that is going to be what I envisage a futuristic first-person shooter to look like. Hopefully some anti-gravity stuff and more laser guns rather than mechanical guns with bullets. But the question is, what does the entirety of the Battlefield community want the time period to be? Well, Battlefield Daily put out this tweet on Twitter a few weeks ago now, which was a link to a straw poll, and the question was, where do you want Battlefield to go next, time period? Now, because of what I said a couple of seconds ago, I voted for distant future, but as we can see from the results, they surprised me quite a bit, and World War II got almost half of the votes, with modern day not even a close second, then Vietnam and distant future last. I don't think that Vietnam is going to be a setting that DICE goes for, because they've already done a full expansion pack for Vietnam, and there's not really much that they can do in that area. Modern day is something that has been explored quite a lot in the more recent Battlefields, so Battlefield 2, Battlefield 3 and Battlefield 4, and I think that the market for distant future first-person shooters is kind of oversaturated at the minute, so I don't think that DICE are going to go for that. So, because of what a lot of the Battlefield community are actually asking for, I think it's quite likely that DICE might actually go for a World War II or other historical setting. Now, I don't know a lot about world wars and historical weapons or vehicles or any sort of warfare that happened more than 20 odd years ago. So I asked a good friend on Facebook what he would do or what he would like to see in a historical Battlefield, and he gave me some pretty good scenarios for game modes and maps. One of the most interesting game mode and map combinations that my friend gave me was D-Day and Rush. Now, whilst I don't think that planting bombs on MCOMs is a very lore-friendly game mode to have in a historical shooter, I do think that it could be adapted slightly to fit the theme. So, say for example, it was a cross between Rush and Conquest, where the teams had a linear line of objectives to capture on the map, and you had to capture them in order, and it was almost like the front line of the battle is shifting between each capture point depending on how well each team is fighting. Almost like Chain Link, but in a more linear fashion. I suppose also what comes with historical shooters is choosing the factions or the different armies that you can play as in the game. It might change between the British army, the German army, the Japanese army, the American army, or whoever. But depending on which army that is implemented into the game, that could open up new ideas for expansions or DLC. I'd like to go further down the expansion route, sort of similar to what Vietnam did in Bad Company 2. So you have an expansion where there's new vehicles, new maps, and different armies, rather than just some new maps that the old armies transition onto. Now, I don't know a lot about historical warfare, And all of this information that I'm talking about, D-Day and other things like that, this is all coming from a very good friend who is very interested in historical warfare. So let me know down in the comments if you are interested and know a lot about historical warfare. Let me know down in the comments what sorts of game modes and map combinations would you like to see in a historical Battlefield title. But anyway, that's me done for today. Thank you very much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, a comment and a subscription, and I'll see you in the next one.